Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into something most of us deal with every single day, sugar. Now, you've probably heard the old saying, a calorie is a calorie, right? Well, what if that's just not the whole story? We're going to look at some fascinating new research that suggests one type of sugar, fructose, plays this really unique and powerful role in our bodies, acting less like simple fuel and more like a direct command. So, let's get right into it.
So this quote right here from Dr. Richard Johnson, who's the lead author of a major new study, this is really the heart of what we're digging into today. It's a challenge, really. It's asking us to look past just counting calories and start understanding the specific biological signals our food is sending. So what is it that makes fructose so darn different?
The argument here is that what fructose does in your body goes way, way beyond its energy value. The best way to think about it is less like a log you throw on the fire for heat and more like a biological switch. A switch that flips on some major pathways in our body with huge consequences for our health.
Now, to really get this, we've got to know who we're dealing with. So first things first, let's get properly introduced to the main character of our story, fructose.
Okay, so fructose is a simple sugar, what scientists call a monosaccharide. You probably know it as fruit sugar. But here's what's so wild. Its chemical formula is exactly the same as glucose, which is our body's main fuel source. But its molecular structure, how the atoms are arranged, is different. And that tiny little difference, well, that changes everything about how our body handles it.
And the thing is, fructose is, well, it's pretty much everywhere. It's naturally in really healthy foods like fruits, vegetables, and honey, but it's also a huge part of the sweeteners we add to things. It makes up exactly half of regular table sugar, and it's the main ingredient in high fructose corn syrup, which you'll find in, countless processed foods and drinks.
All right, let's put these two sugars, fructose and glucose, side by side, because this is where the story gets really, really interesting. How your body processes them is like reading two completely different books.
Just look at this comparison. It lays it all out. Glucose, on one hand, is our body's go-to, well-regulated fuel. Its entry into our cells is tightly controlled by insulin, and it can power pretty much everything. Fructose, on the other hand, is like the unregulated back door. It doesn't need insulin, it skips right past the body's normal energy checkpoints, and it makes a beeline straight for your liver. And that difference, it is absolutely crucial. So because fructose takes this crazy metabolic shortcut, it doesn't just get treated as another source of energy. Oh no. Instead, it acts as an incredibly powerful signal, telling your body to do something very specific, to make fat and to store it. So here's how it works, in 3 basic steps. First, like we said, it completely bypasses the body's normal energy cops. Second, it directly flips on the machinery that creates fat. And third, and this part is just wild, the process of breaking down fructose actually uses up ATP, which is the energy currency of our cells. So think about that. It's telling your body to pack on fat, while at the very same time, it's literally draining your cellular batteries.
And the consequences of this? Yeah, they're pretty serious. This whole process leads to more fat building up in the liver, it creates nasty byproducts that cause oxidative stress and inflammation, and it's now seen as a major, major driver of something called metabolic syndrome.
And just so we're all on the same page, metabolic syndrome isn't one single disease. It's a whole cluster of risk factors, things like extra fat around your middle, high blood pressure, and insulin resistance, that, when you have them together, just skyrocket your risk for some of the biggest chronic diseases in the world today. So at this point, the answer seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Just don't eat fructose. Well, this is where the story takes a really surprising and complicated turn. Let's just ask the question directly. What if you are super careful? You cut out all the sodas, all the candy, all the added sugars that have fructose. You're in the clear, right? The answer, stunningly, is no. It turns out our bodies are so clever, they can actually make their own fructose from other sugars, especially glucose. It's a process called endogenous fructose production. So when you eat a lot of high-carb foods, like bread or potatoes, your body can take that glucose and convert it into fructose, the very molecule that signals fat storage. The takeaway here is kind of mind-blowing. The problem isn't just what you eat directly.
Now, this all sounds pretty bad. So why on earth would our bodies even have a system like this? Well, to answer that, we have to look way back into our evolutionary past, a time when fructose was actually more of a friend than an enemy.
See, for our ancient ancestors, finding food was a constant struggle.
So having a mechanism that could efficiently take the sugar from seasonal fruits and turn it into stored body fat, that was a massive survival advantage. It helped them get through the lean winter months. But today, in a world where food is everywhere all the time, that same life-saving trait has become a major liability. What once kept us alive is now, ironically, contributing to the very diseases we're all trying to fight.
So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. We have to get more sophisticated in how we think about food. Instead of just lumping all sugars together as calories, we have to start recognizing their very distinct biological effects. Fructose isn't just passive energy, it's an active instruction manual for our metabolism.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. If the science keeps pointing to fructose as a central driver of metabolic disease, not just a passenger along for the ride, how should that change our whole approach to food, to public health, and to our own dietary guidelines? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us.